as we are live on the YouTube. So, good evening, everybody. If anybody is out there even watching right now, which I don't know if anybody is because I changed the schedule and I forgot to schedule this show beforehand. So, people are just now going to be getting their YouTube notifications. So, it might be a little bit before anybody jumps in out there in the YouTube side. But if you are out there, good evening to you. And if you are out there, say something so we know you're out there. Even though YouTube does put a participants list in the live chat thingy there, it doesn't always read accurately. So, yeah, if you don't say anything, we don't know you're there, and we can't say hello to you. So, just keep that in mind. And as you can see in the ticker now, there is an email address if anybody wants to correspond in any ways and whatever. It's there. That's the email address that y'all can use to contact the channel, as well as my other channel, which you can see next to my name and Unloaded Media on YouTube. So that one's more politically motivated, whereas this one's more wrestling and general entertainment kind of stuff. So let's see, where do we want to start tonight? Well, there have been rumors the past couple weeks that CM Punk will not be returning to AEW. Don't know if it's true or not. Again, we've said it before on the show and say it again. Take what the rumor mill has to say with a grain of salt. I mean, that's true in any area of life, right? Don't believe everything you hear, and only half of what you read. Isn't that the old saying? Well, that's particularly true when it comes to the pro wrestling rumor mill. But yeah, the rumors are that CM Punk could potentially have his contract bought out entirely by AEW, which would definitely mean that he would not be coming back if that is what is going on. And as for the rumor that we would have had more detail on what's going on with the suspensions in general, as far as the Elite, Punk, Ace Steel, the latest is that we really won't know anything until it's decided what legal measures are going to be taken, if any. So, with the rumor that Punk may be done with AEW and may not be coming back, that just adds weight to it because that would be a legal situation that's being handled. Anytime you break a contract, there's legal negotiations and whatnot that have to be gone through. I mean, you don't just break a contract. So, yeah, there we go. Being joined by the co-host who was a little bit late, but it's not his fault again. I changed the time of the show. So, good evening, Kingpin.
Yeah, you didn't send me the link until after you went live.
No, I sent the links before I went live.
Okay, I didn't get the link until after you went live.
Yeah, I sent
So
the links like 20 minutes ago.
that's what I just said. You sent the links, and I didn't get it until you just went live.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. You should have had it earlier than that because I sent it 30. I sent it like 20, 25 minutes ago now.
No, that was just all my email goes through my phone first,
Mm-hmm.
and then it'll sync to my laptop. So stuff will sit on my phone for 5 minutes before it links over to my laptop because my laptop only refreshes like every 10 minutes or something like that.
I was gonna say maybe it has something to do with this damn weather we're getting.
No, it's just when I got my laptop open for. It's been. Shoot, what time did Rick go live?
He
3?
went live at 3. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been since 3 o'clock. So that's the last time I opened my email. And if you don't open it, there's sometimes it'll lag before it refreshes.
So what
Yeah.
you're saying it's your fault for using your phone, only your phone to check email.
Well, no, I check my laptop when I'm here. But any minute now, I'll start getting a bunch of little notifications in the corner of, YouTube comments and all that kind of different junk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
So
don't know.
CM Punk's out of the business.
We don't know, but that's just a rumor that he's not going to be returning to AEW once his injury's over. So,
AEW or the business?
well, if he's out of AEW, I mean, he's burnt his bridges with WWE. I doubt if they're going to take him back. He didn't leave Impact when he was briefly there on good terms. So I mean, the Ring of Honor is under AEW's umbrella now, so he can't go there.
Did you see
But
that there's a WoW back? A WoW Women of Wrestling is back.
yeah, that keeps going back every so often. I'm
Yeah.
not surprised. It goes away and then comes back, goes away and then comes back. Hell, they had Glow for a little bit. I don't know if that's still out there or not.
I liked Glow when I was a kid and Glow was on. I thought Glow was good.
Glow had a certain humor to it.
Yeah, but the girls actually
Yeah,
they
yeah,
wrestled. You know, what
yeah.
I
I
mean, they
know,
got
but
in the
I'm
ring
saying
and
it
got
was.
at it.
Yeah, I get that, but there was also a comedy angle to it too. And I'm not arguing that it wasn't good. I'm saying, yeah, it was like, yeah,
Oh
you
yeah.
had that comedy angle and stuff too.
Well, that's the problem I think that this WoW because I actually watched like a full YouTube ad and it reminds me of that NXT. I had that on the television a couple of days ago whenever it was on last, and
Mm.
it's way too like over the top drama. Like it's bad acting on
Mm.
purpose drama.
Yeah, the thing you got to remember with NXT is that's the developmental system. So those are people that are just learning
Yeah,
NXTs to get them a little bit of TV time before they were, and if they ever make it to the main roster, so that they're you know seasoned, I guess you could say.
I think that they yuck it up a little too much. Like they make it too dramatic. Now, to be fair, I only watched 10 minutes of the show.
Hmm. But they are already under Triple H starting to make some changes to NXT. Like they've changed the logo back to where it's more like the old school logo and whatnot. So see how that goes going forward. How much he changes it and back to the way he liked it before Vince basically took him out of the position because of his heart issues and everything he's having at the time. I'm talking
Yeah,
Triple H, obviously.
yeah, I saw I didn't watch the video, but the title of one of the videos that was recommended to me was Triple H opens up about his fear of almost dying. Apparently, like whatever his heart issue was pretty serious. Rob
Oh
D's out
yeah,
there.
yep. Hey Rob, no, wasn't I talking to that guy earlier today?
Probably. I mean,
Yeah,
we all unfortunately have that problem from time to time.
yeah. He's hard to avoid. He shows up everywhere.
I gotta tell you that I was so tempted to stop what I was doing and hop on the link to give Rob a big round of applause. And he told Rick he was like, no, this is a terrible idea. What do you thought? Stop thinking that way, Rick. You can't even afford this.
Well, I missed something. I must have had him in before I jumped in.
No, you were there.
Was I? I don't remember. What was
Rick
he
was
talking
Rick
about?
was thinking about I can't remember exactly what it was. He was talking about spending some money, and Rob was like, "Man, come on, dude. That's just like I can't remember now, but it had me rolling, man. It was funny."
Yeah, I don't. I honestly don't remember.
Oh man,
That might have
I
been when I
was
was on the phone. That might have been when my wife called him.
I was thinking about it just before I came back on live with you. That's why I can't remember it now because I'm trying to remember it, so I can't remember it. Anyway, what's up, Rob? So, all right, Vince McMahon. What's the story behind Vince McMahon? Any
Well,
new news?
no, nothing new on that front.
All right, what about injury reports like Budios and everybody else?
No, I don't know if there's anything new with Big E. Nothing new on the Punk situation. Shit. Uh,
There, that's it. A pet. He was talking about the dog, getting a
oh
dog.
yeah,
Where I was
okay,
like, "Come on, man, come on,
yeah,
man."
yeah. That would have been about the time my wife called. So yeah, that's why I missed that. Okay.
Rick should get a goldfish.
As long as it's not an escaping goldfish that you can never find. Well, that was a beta in my wife's with my wife's
All
fish,
right.
but yeah, it still applies.
So, how is the tournament still going on for the titles?
No, that's over. John Moxley is the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
Now, do you remember the predictions that we made?
Um, did we?
Did we make predict? I thought didn't I? Yeah, because barbecue was on, and I think he was picking Jericho,
Yeah, Jericho lost.
and then I picked Moxley just because I think he's the
Yeah, the final was Moxley and
star.
the final was Moxley and Danielson,
Yeah.
which I figured the final was going to be. I remember that much. I don't remember if I said who I thought was going to win or not.
Have you been watching those matches?
Yeah, I watched it.
Has my other prediction come true? Have they really turned up the skill level and the entertainment level because of all the BS that, or is it kind of just the same?
Kind of the same. I mean, you, there's more people getting screen time, obviously, because you have your three or your biggest four, if you want to count Punk, your four of your biggest stars not there, so they got to fill in with more people. So you see some people getting more screen time, and Moxley should be on vacation right now, and instead he is not. He's been there every week since it's happened.
Yeah, but they'll straighten him out for that.
Yeah, eventually. Uh, they're setting up. They got at trying to remember what it's on Dynamite and when Dynamite I think it's on Dynamite when they're in Cincinnati in a couple of weeks. Moxley is going to be defending the title against Hangman Adam Page, and then you also have MJF with the poker chip who can cash that in whenever he wants. Apparently, they must have changed it or something because MJF made a quip in promo he did on Wednesday that whoever that they're not fighting each other. They're fight for the title. They're fighting to see who loses the title to him. At, and he can cash and he'll cash in on him whenever he's ready, anywhere he's ready. Almost like they're hinting like what they do with the Money in the Bank briefcase in WWE,
Yeah,
which originally with the poker chip that wasn't the stipulation. The stipulation was that you could challenge the champion ahead of time to a match on any of their upcoming shows. So that'd be interesting to see if his promo, which hints at a change to that is true, or if he just misspoke, or I'm reading too much into it.
so
Take your pick.
isn't the Adam Page guy one of the dudes that was in the fight?
He wasn't there. He wasn't there. He's the one that people online are blaming for all of it.
Say the other guy's name again. Then there was the two wrestling tag team guys. Then the other guy,
Yeah, you had the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega. I always get that. I get him and I'm still getting him and Hangman mixed up. All right, so okay, so Moxley's the champion.
Mm-hmm.
What about the triple team tag teams?
Oh,
Who?
that's Death Triangle. Pac and the Lucha Brothers. They got those belts now.
All right, Snobby's out there. Good to see a
Easy
Snobby.
snub. Oh, Randy Orton. The situation with him isn't looking very good.
What happened to him?
He had to have back surgery, and a lot of people backstage apparently are concerned about him if he's going to be able to return or not.
I thought he had hurt his neck. Is
He
it
had
is
a neck injury, and when they were examining that, they found an issue with his back that required surgery.
okay.
So he could be out for a lengthy period of time and may not be able to return at all. So I don't even think he's hit 40 yet. So he's getting there. But
Excuse me. I hope these guys. I hope these guys have learned over the years to get retirement funds and 401ks and money under the mattress kind of stuff and investments.
The big name guys, they make millions of dollars a year.
Yeah, I mean, I get they make millions of dollars a year, and lots of them end up homeless at the end of their careers too.
Not so much anymore. The old days, yeah, they definitely did. It, but it's like any athletic endeavor. You get the top guys who are making a buttload of money. Then you got the lower tier guys who are making minimum wage for the company, which minimum wage for the company still isn't bad. It's you're making you're making six figures on the even on the minimum wage that some of those people are making. But yeah, I get what you're saying. You know, invest and get yourself squared away and whatnot. Ooh, excuse me, started yawning for some reason.
The early watch released a music collection today with some wrestlers in it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I've been seeing in a long time. I think about a lot is Dead Horse.
I ain't seen him in a while.
Yeah, for he had this thing. I think it was maybe the summertime. It was either the summer or the winter. He'd be online like all the time, and then whatever the other season was, he'd be completely gone. And he did that for like a couple years, and then he just after his last bout of the early watch show that he did, he just stopped going around.
Yeah, there's a lot of the older guys that aren't around anymore. I don't mean they're older. I mean they've been around for a while.
Yeah, Dead Horse was good too.
Dead Horse, Dano, shit, a bunch of other guys who hell, I can't remember some of their names anymore. They've been gone so long. It's like, yeah, I know there was something. Uh, Bobby Roode, I don't know if you remember him, the guy that was tag teaming with Dolph Ziggler a while back. He had to have surgery on to repair something on his shoulder or something. So he's out for a while. He's not a young guy. He's in his mid 40s.
Have there been any other announcements of like New Japan doing more America stuff and some more America doing some Japan stuff and
Yeah, the
crossbreeding shows and all that?
New Japan is going to be having a show around Halloween. They're doing a show in the U.S. and then there's another one that they're doing in the U.S. before that, which are going to have some of the bigger named Japanese wrestlers on it, and they're saying some surprises. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple AEW guys show up over there. I mean, they just had one this week. John Moxley was taking on Juice Robinson, who's a member of the Bullet Club over in New Japan.
All right. So we got what are there 4 companies that we're talking about? 4 different TV shows.
Yeah, you got the WWE,
Uh,
AEW, New Japan, and Impact are the main brands.
okay. So we've moved to all electric cars, so everybody only gets 1 hour of electricity every day, and you have to pick what you're going to watch because you can't change the channel. That takes too much electricity time. So obviously, all the wrestling fans are going to be like, turn it to the wrestling station. And what do they pick? They can only pick one. You got to pick yours, and then you got to imagine what the rest of the world would pick based on your experience. They can only pick one of the 4 TV shows. Which one do you pick, and which one does the world go with? The way they sit right now, like today, boom, you have to make a decision
Yeah, I
in
get
the
what you're
next
saying.
couple seconds. You don't have to, but I mean, like, that's part of the scenario.
Yeah, I'd probably go New Japan myself, but as far as the majority of people, they probably go WWE because that would be the one, especially in the U.S. and Canada, because that would be the company they know.
All right, I'd go with the Moxley guy and the MJK guy and MJF.
Yeah, MJF.
Yeah, I'd go with their TV show.
Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Everybody, we got party at Krabby's house tomorrow night.
Yeah, yeah. While the wife's away, the cats will play. I mean, he's not a mouse. He's more of a cat guy. So, he said he got his card. I'm guessing he's talking about his permit.
Nice, hell yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna carry tomorrow. I'm going to go to the range in the morning, so I'm gonna carry to the range.
I've
Uh,
started the application process. I gotta go get the fingerprinting done.
so I'll have my very first carry video for Every Second Matters tomorrow.
Cool. You know, you always could have came to this state and did that.
I've carried in West Virginia 4 or 5
Oh, I
different
know you
times.
have.
Yeah, every time I've been there, well, no, just the one time because when I came back from DC, I wasn't carrying, but when I came up to hang out, I carried that day.
Yeah,
And
I
then
know.
my friend that lives over in Harrisburg, I've been to his house a bunch of times, so I always carry when I go over there. And then I've carried in Pennsylvania.
I'm
Carried
saying
in,
we could have made a special trip on one of the seconds and did an Every Seconds Matter video, here or across over in Pennsylvania or something.
I could have just did it here too. I've carried here plenty of times too. This is just
Hey, you know,
the first one with a
shh,
permit.
shh,
Well,
quiet, quiet.
we're talking about buckets
Listen.
of water, right? I'm a drywall guy.
Uh-huh.
I gotta carry the buckets in sometimes when the water doesn't work in the house.
Okay.
Or somebody's sensitive about their new sink getting damaged.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that game looks pretty rad. The best part about it is all you got to do is figure out what size the rubber bands are, and then you can go to your Walmart or your grocery store and buy a bag of 1,000 of them for $2. Just be careful of vacuuming up rubber bands in your living room.
Later, Krabby.
See you, Chloe.
There's been no further word on if Wardlow was actually hurt or not. But apparently, they're making him and Samoa Joe a tag team.
All right, that should be pretty good.
Yeah. They're calling themselves War Joe.
Yeah.
If they don't put the tag team titles on those two as a tag team, there's something wrong.
That's one of the interesting angles that wrestling. I think it's different in a movie because there's always the I could just kill you factor. Like, when Jackie Chan's standing up against Shaquille O'Neal, Jackie Chan could pull out a gun and shoot him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But in wrestling, you can't do that. So they've always had, because like the Big Show and the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns should never lose a fight. They should beat everybody all the time. And then when the Big Show and Brock Lesnar wrestle, they should wrestle for 7 hours straight until both of them fall over from exhaustion. If you were thinking about, okay, trying to make it realistic.
Mm-hmm.
But then they take a small guy like a Ric Flair or a Sting, and he fights Hulk Hogan and all these other giant men and still wins. So they've always been able to do that very well. I think make the small guy believably win the match.
Oh yeah, but you got a tag team of Samoa Joe and Wardlow. That's a whole other dimension.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. They can't just have those guys win every match until they retire.
Oh no, I'm not saying they could. I'm just saying they need to put the tag team titles on that tag as a tag team. Those two with the tag belts. I mean, they've already both got individual titles. Wardlow's the TNT champion, and Joe's the Ring of Honor television champion. So
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I've never bought a bag. I've just seen bags of rubber bands in the store, and I also try my best never to walk inside of Walmart. Try that like Office Depot or Staples, because that people use rubber bands in offices and stuff, right?
yeah, office supply store would probably be your best bet.
Or shoot, order them on eBay. Send Squib $2.50 and let him put it on his credit card for you.
Yeah. eBay, Amazon. I'm sure either one of those would have them too. So yeah, Best Buy might because they get some office supplies.
So, does anything major happen before the end of the year for any of these TV shows?
Well, we got a long way to go yet.
Not really.
In the
Two
world of
months?
wrestling, yeah, we do.
Like 2 months? 3 months?
Yeah, yeah, that's like 3 or 4 pay-per-views for WWE right there.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I know they got what is it? What do they call their Halloween thing?
Halloween Havoc, that's for NXT.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, Extreme Rules is next weekend, but probably not gonna be able to do a watch along for that because that's the day we go to Pittsburgh.
All right.
And
Yeah,
by
I'm
the
not
time
gonna
we
be
get
able to.
back from that, it'll be too late to do one of those.
Yeah.
I'm not even putting it on the schedule. And depending on how long, that's going to be a long day too. So let's see what else. I mean, and then also next weekend on Friday, AEW is doing Rampage live that Friday night, and then right after it, they're doing Battle of the Belts, which is going to be like at 10 and 11 o'clock respectively. So you're looking from 10 to 12 p.m. on Friday night. AEW is going to be doing a live
Nice.
show.
What, just on television?
Yeah, just on regular TV. It's going to be on TNT.
Try calling a like one of them weave stores, like where the black chicks get all their hair products and stuff from, Rob, and see if they got rubber bands there. Uh, they might have them in different colors and stuff like that, but that'd be the only other place I could think that would sell rubber bands.
Yeah, I can't believe an office supply store wouldn't have rubber bands. No,
Probably a
let's see.
coronavirus shortage.
Yeah, maybe. I'm trying to think of what other pay-per-views we got coming up just recent. Oh, Bound for Glory, I think is the next Impact one. That's next weekend too, if I remember right.
A Survivor Series is their Thanksgiving one, right?
Yeah, that's when it's traditionally Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
They also have a Saudi Arabia show coming up, I believe, at WWE. That is. So there's that. And then I don't know if they're doing one in December or not. Last year they didn't, but November also will have AEW doing their Full Gear pay per view. So yeah, there's a lot left on the calendar as far as wrestling for the year is concerned. Just the special episodes of things that I just mentioned
Yeah.
and the pay per views. So that next Friday is going to be stacked for wrestling. You got 2 AEW shows and the SmackDown episode of SmackDown for that night on the WWE side of things. That's a good 4 hours of wrestling right there. The Acclaimed are the new tag team champions in AEW. Didn't do the show last weekend. I don't remember anyway. I don't think we did. No, we didn't because I had to go for that ultrasound and shit last weekend. So yeah, that happened last Wednesday, not this past Wednesday, but the week before, on their special episode from Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York. Those are they claimed are the ones that the guy raps as they're coming to the ring. The other guy carries the boombox thing.
Yeah.
They got
Yeah, I'm starting to remember some of those guys a little bit more now.
they beat Swerve and Our Glory for the tag team titles.
Yeah, the bank might not be a bad idea, especially if you got a good relationship with like a bank in your neighborhood or something like that. You know, the lady behind the counter knows you from coming
You
in.
know, Rob doesn't use banks.
Well, I'm sure he does. He's got to get checks cashed and stuff like
Eh,
that from his customers.
he does that at Walmart.
Nah, nah. Walmart charges you a fee to cash a check. Rob ain't paying no fees to cash a check.
Yeah, but he ain't using no bank either. He keeps his money in a mattress.
Well, yeah, but he can keep his account at 1 cent, so because there's no minimum balance, and just cash his checks for free.
So he's doing it the Dire Straits way. Does he want it? Rob, do you want your MTV?
Yeah, I bet you Rob would like some MTV. I'd like some MTV.
Rob would live on MTV if he could.
That'd be all right.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what Rob should do. He should be a contestant on the Real World if they ever bring that back.
See, that's where we got to pump the brakes because I was gonna make an exception and only one exception for Beavis and Butthead. Other than that, it's got to be music videos, and that's it.
Uh, you don't want to see Rob on the Real World? I think that would be
Not on
hilarious.
MTV. I don't. I'm gonna put that on A&E or TBS or Spike or one of the other channels, and I'll watch it. But MTV's got to be music television with
Yeah, they've
Beavis
been
and
that
Butthead.
for years. I'll think
Yeah,
early '90s was the last time that channel was music television.
yeah.
Oh,
I
see,
guess
Rob.
you could. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, see, Rob doesn't have his own bank account. Even he just cashes a check at whatever bank the is listed on the check. He takes like somebody pays him the check that says Dollar Bank on it. He goes to Dollar Bank and cashes it.
Yeah, but the bank charges you a fee if you don't have an account.
Not always.
No, almost. It's policy on every single bank. Whether they follow it or not is up to you. Because there's been plenty of times where they haven't charged me, and I know the people at the two banks that I go to basically by name now.
You got the wrong character there, Rob. That was Cornholio, the great Cornholio. He needs tippy
Oh,
for his bunghole.
Bonghole, I think that was Dave Chappelle. He made a
I am the
movie
great
about that.
Cornholio. I need tippy for my bunghole.
That phenomenon was amazing. When that came out, that was
Oh,
so unbelievably hot.
oh man, it was different. Nobody had ever done something like that before with a cartoon.
That was hilarious, man. That was really good stuff. It's,
Yeah,
who was over there thwacking in the tool shed?
that boy ain't right. And Anderson from that is what led to King of the Hill. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Hank Hill was
Damn it,
Anderson.
Bobby.
Yeah, Mike Judge just took the character of Anderson and turned him into Hank Hill.
Yeah.
Did the same voice and everything with him.
Propane and propane accessories, Bobby.
I don't know you. That's not your purse.
I used to be able to do Bobby's voice a little bit, but I can't. It's been so long since I've heard it. I'd just make something. I'd sound like Gilbert Gottfried instead.
I mean, like um, Steven Crowder's impression of Bernie Sanders. It always ends up sounding like Gilbert Gottfried.
I say I was watching a. I don't watch a lot of Steven Crowder stuff, but occasionally, like I get, I'm subbed. Bernie's out there. What's up, Bernie? I'm subbed and I got the bell, so I get the notifications. I just don't always watch the videos. But one of the shorts that he put out, and I never get notifications on shorts, so I miss a lot of people's shorts videos. But this one's labeled Jesus Christ. Some dude who thinks he's Jesus is sitting there and he starts getting kind of aggressive with Steven Crowder. And you know how fit Steven Crowder is.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's a big dude. And Steven, like that, I've never seen him do that before. He kind of gets up and pushes the guy off the chair and like lifts him up out of the chair. And then his security comes in and kind of like pushes him away and convinces the guy to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
But the dude that was messing with him was he was old and scrawny. And I'm sitting there thinking, Steven Crowder weighs like probably 265, 250.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
excellent
I
condition.
think he says he weighs 240.
Yeah, I mean that's a healthy young man for some scrawny little meth head to be messing with.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and he takes that Brazilian jiu-jitsu too at the same time. I wouldn't want to mess with Crowder. You
Yeah,
know.
especially this guy. This guy, like I said, he looked like his whole thing, his shtick was he's Jesus. So, and then obviously Crowder, Crowder believes in God and Jesus and all that kind of stuff. So he
Mm-hmm.
was basically just trying to be a jerk.
Did you ever see the one where he's doing the change my mind thing about transsexuals and stuff like that, and this black tranny wearing these super high heels, skinny little dude, right?
Yeah,
Starts giving him a hard time. Does like the tiptoe run in the high heels, steals some homeless guy's lunchbox and throws it at Crowder, and then tries to run away in the high heels. It's freaking hilarious. And that person they got charged too for it. The cops arrested him and he was charged by the DA where that
yeah.
happened.
See, that's another thing that people don't understand. Like when they confront like Fleckus and Steven Crowder and Charlie Kirk and stuff like that, they're going to report every single
Mm-hmm.
physical confrontation that to the detail that they can. Because, Steven Crowder, I'm sure, has had plenty of people say, oh, he tried to punch me in the face. And Steven's like, well, I've got 17 cameras here. And I called the police department and told them that there's somebody here yelling at me. And I got a whole bunch of security here that all have body cameras on.
Yeah. A lot of times when he goes to like the college campuses and stuff, the campus police are right there too.
Yeah, you can always see that's in the, I can't remember who it was. Oh man, it was some newer person that was out asking questions on some college campus, and this leftist called the police on him. So when the police showed up, he was like, "This guy is making threatening, racist, aggressive statements, and I think that you need to remove him." And the cops were like, "Are you out of your mind?" He said, "We're sitting here trying to figure out a crime. We're trying to help you out. If you can point us to a crime that he's committed, then we'll take care of that. But as far as him standing here and expressing his First Amendment, we're not going to do anything about that."
Yeah, people they think they're in a different country. You want to pull that shit, go to England and live. Then, you might get what you want there. You're not going to get it here.
This one lady, Charlie Kirk, was at some abortion thing, and this one lady kept following him around screaming, and then she'd leave him alone for a couple minutes, and she'd follow him around screaming, and she eventually called the cops on him, and she was like, "We got a permit for this space, and you can't be on here." And he's like, "That's not how your permit works, man. First of all, it's federal property." And but to be convenient, he walked back and stood on like a sidewalk that was a couple feet behind like the little grass area she was talking about.
Mm,
When the cop showed up, the cop was like, "Ma'am, your First Amendment does not exceed his First Amendment. There's no way I'm going to do anything about this. You're just going to either have to leave or deal with it."
mm-hmm. That's pretty much it. I mean, people think their rights trump somebody else's rights, and that's not the way it works. So people think their right to safety trumps people's rights to own firearms. No, no.
Uh-huh. Rob's going to be doing the late night chat apparently.
Uh-huh.
Any other wrestling news we need to cover?
Not really. It hasn't been that newsworthy of a week, really. I mean, what we talked about already. It's been fairly slow. I mean, every day it's almost the same rumors all over again, and nothing's really changed. They did come out and say we won't know. I don't know if I said this already, or if you were in here when I said it, but we're not going to know anything until they settle more of the legal situation when it comes to the suspension, at least of the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. So I mean, that was like the biggest thing that came out this weekend. That
So now,
basically they're going.
do you think that suspension time has been levied, or they're still trying to figure it out? But basically, the end all to my question is this going to be like a time served thing, where in 6 months they finally come out and say we're going to suspend Kenny Omega for 6 months, and it's been 6 months, so he's back on the show.
Well, they've already been suspended. They're not working.
Right? Yeah, I know, but it's I you know. That's what I mean is when the investigation wraps up, is that going to be the end of the suspension? Are they going to basically give them a bunch of time served?
I
Or
think the
if it
investigation
takes six
is
months, are they going to say now your time starts? So you get this first 6 months and now you get an additional
well
six
the
months.
way the latest was worded. I think the suspension is going to last while they're doing the investigation. That whatever the outcome of the investigation is determines whether they get reinstated or not, or if criminal charges in some way are going to be filed against somebody or not. So they're going to be suspended while the investigation's going on, which they are. And I think it's suspended without pay on top of it. So
Yeah, you can't get like that. You can't get down like that in the work environment. Unfortunately, we worked for a contractor last week. We did the finish out. So I had to caulk and putty all the trim and paint all the walls and paint the ceiling and do all that kind of stuff and basically get it ready to have furniture moved in. The trim guy put 10 trillion holes in all the trim, didn't set half the nails, so I had to go through with my nail set and set just about half of the nails in an entire addition. So it's basically another single family home, first floor built,
mm-hmm.
and caulk super huge gaps. And then there's certain designs in like your door casing, and they put state if you put a trim nail in inside the little area where the design is at, you can kind of get away with packing it with the little putty and making it look like there's no hole there. This jackass put staples in all the door trim and didn't set half of those. So when you
why
set a
in
staple,
the why in the hell would you use staples?
yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, you don't set a staple, especially when it's in that delicate trim. I put a huge hole in it to get because you got to hit both sides of a staple with the nail set. Trim guys think that they're slick and they'll screw up the way the top piece, what's that, the lintel, and then the post come up. So they'll throw a bunch of caulk in there after they thinking they're doing something special and a bunch of putty, and it was all caulked up. I had to sand it all off there. It was just a giant hassle. I left a couple little tiny waves in my caulk lines and some door casing, and man, I heard about it every day of the week. I had to rant about that a little bit.
I was I'm sitting here trying to think, okay, how does that fit to what we were talking about? I was waiting for you to tie it in somehow, and then there was like no tie. Like
I don't know. I can't remember how we started it.
I said about how Bucks and Omega are suspended without pay, and then you started on that rant. So I didn't
Yeah.
know if somehow that was going to tie into there or
Oh, professionalism at work. These jackasses are fighting at work
okay.
with other professional men when they could have easily, with the money they make, went back to any one of their hotel rooms or any one of their mansions and fought in the basement, and nobody would have known anything about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. Arn Anderson and Sid got into a fight in a hotel, and it got word of that got out. So
Oh yeah, I mean the hotel's probably not a good idea because they're not going to break up a hotel and the police are going to show
hmm
up. Yeah, Rob
yeah,
knows what I'm talking about.
that was the incident where somebody brought out a pair of scissors, and somehow Anderson got a hold of him and was trying to stab Sid. Or some people say it was the other way around, that Sid somehow got a hold of the scissors and was trying to stab Anderson. But to hear Arn tell that he had the scissors and was trying to stab Sid, so I will go with him on that one. Because, and he doesn't know where the scissors came from. They were. He just remembers that if there was a pair of scissors, he grabbed them and went to stab Sid. He doesn't know how they got there. When they first started pushing each other back and forth and getting each other's face, there weren't no scissors there. He just knows he looked out and there was a pair of scissors and he was pissed off as all hell and he grabbed them and was getting ready to use them. To hear Arn Anderson tell it. So, since he's the one saying that, yeah, I was done getting ready to use the scissors, I'll take his word for it.
Yeah, yeah. It's not often that someone admits to felony assault.
The best part is he doesn't even remember what started the fight. he just
Uh,
he,
Drugs and alcohol. Sure, they were sitting there drunk up, talking shit to each other, and it just got, too rowdy. Two giant alpha men. One of them finally got a little bit insulted, and then, they can't back down. So that's what I would guess is just two drunk dudes sitting around
mhm.
with big egos.
Oh yeah, it's more than likely that's what it was. Something happened at the arena or something happened back at the hotel when they're at the hotel bar and it just escalated. Another guy was punished for it either. Rob says pride kills a lot of people
Man,
and
I got
stupidity kills a lot more.
I got some friends that are like that, man. They're they're dangerous dudes. Like they're not the kind of people that you want to play with.
hmm
Uh, and they can't. They're nice guys. They're funny dudes. They're in great condition. Different stuff like that. But they can't have their pride insulted, man. Like you can yuck it up with them for a while, but you got to know when to cut it off because sooner or later they're gonna get insulted, and they don't know how to take a joke sometimes, especially if remember how get your shine box. Remember that scene from Goodfellas?
hmm
How Tommy couldn't take the old dude giving him a hard time, and then the old dude was like, "Oh, I'll straighten you out. Get your shine box." And then Tommy
hmm
had to come back and chop him up in a bunch of pieces and kill him
Yeah.
because he hurt his pride. Like he was talking about, there's a lot of people around. You don't always say it was about the people that hurt it. And I've had friends that are like that, man. You say that if you say something to them in public that they deem disrespectful, it's it's time to go, no matter where you're at. And that's not a healthy way to live.
No. trying to think of what else we can talk about. Like I said, it's been a slow week wrestling wise.
Yeah, I haven't heard nothing.
Uh, uh, at Extreme Rules next week, no Usos and no Roman Reigns on the card.
Why is that?
I don't know.
When did that information? Is that like breaking news, or is that something
No,
that everybody knew?
that's something people already knew, but I just thought that was interesting, and something to bring up the fact that yeah, the Usos and Reigns are not on the card at this point for Extreme Rules, which is a week away.
Is it possible that either one of those guys live in Florida or South Carolina? Maybe they got to do their real life. They can't come to wrestling.
Well, with Reigns, I can see it because he's on a limited schedule now. But the Usos, they're on a regular schedule.
Yeah, but Florida, like 3/4 of Florida was 6 feet underwater 2 days ago.
Yeah, well, Extreme Rules, they've been building that for a month now. So,
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay, so they've not been. Okay, I get it. Okay, okay. I was thinking that they just put this thing together.
no, everything that they do in a month is to get a payoff in the next pay per view. And they haven't done, there's been nothing scheduled for them. They have a storyline going with the bloodline, but they are not set to appear at Extreme Rules. So just makes people wonder if they're going to do something big with them at the Saudi show. And so, with Roman working the limited schedule, you know, him doing 2 pay-per-views in 1 month wouldn't be a limited schedule. So there leads to some speculation if that's why the Usos aren't there because Roman's not there. But they've done shows when Roman wasn't there before. So it's just, it would be weird not having the tag team titles or the world title defended at a pay per view. Bobby Lashley's not scheduled to defend the U.S. title there either, for that matter. So it's none of the top titles. I don't know. I think Walter or Gunther now, is scheduled to defend the Intercontinental title, and I think that's the only men's title that's scheduled on the show.
But it seems to me that WWE has got a roster issue.
Yeah. Well, one thing that's different from last year's Extreme Rules, though, every match has a stipulation. Remember last year when we watched it, we're trying to figure out how this is Extreme Rules because there's only one match that had any kind of stipulation on it. Well, this year they all have a stipulation. That ought to be interesting. I think you got Drew McIntyre and Sheamus are going to be doing a last man standing match. That ought to be brutal. Let's see. Let me see if I can bring up that card and see what they got scheduled for that so far. Okay, here's the card for Extreme Rules as it sits right now. You got, and of course they put up a stupid promotional poster. You got Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey in a Extreme Rules match for the SmackDown Women's title. You got Bianca Belair defending against Bayley in a ladder match, which somebody said that may be WWE's first ladder match that's going to be for a women's championship. Yeah, Matt Riddle and Seth freaking Rollins in a fight pit, whatever that's supposed to mean. Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a strap match. Edge versus Finn Balor in an I Quit match. And then the Brawling Brutes, whoever it is, I'm not sure who that is, to be honest with you, versus the. Oh, that's Sheamus' team. The Brawling Brutes, that's Sheamus' team. So they got the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium. That's Walter's team, or uh, Gunther's team. So no, none of the men's titles are being defended. And the only male champion that's on the card is Gunther. Anyway, that's going to be a 6-man tag team, good old fashioned Donnybrook match. In other words, on any rules, anything goes. But yeah, those are the matches for Extreme Rules next week. No men's titles being defended. So out of those matches, who do you think is going to be the one with the main event?
Let's do you mind reading them all again, and let's just go match by match and talk about them?
Okay, you got Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey in an Extreme Rules match for Liv's SmackDown Women's Championship.
I like Liv Morgan to win. Uh, she's hot, which I think is good. I think that she's a better wrestler than Ronda Rousey is, but I think in order for her to continue the reign as champion, she's got to become a better character. She's got to grow up and like mature or something like that in her character. She can't be this little goofy twerp. And then me believe that she's going to beat Bianca Belair and some of the tougher women that are in the matches. That Becky Lynch person and stuff. So I'm going to pick Liv Morgan to win. I think it'll be a fairly decent match, but I think Ronda will probably beat the crap out of her for most of the match, and then Liv will win somehow at the end.
Yeah, with it being an Extreme Rules match, I think that's how they're going to have it, where Liv beats Rousey. So the next match, the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair defending against Bayley in a ladder match. Again, possibly the first women's ladder match in WWE for one of the championships.
I can't think of another singles ladder match uh, between two women for sure. I don't even think I can think of a singles men's match in a ladder match.
Oh yeah, there have
Uh,
been a few of those.
who is this person that Bianca's wrestling?
Former Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion
Who is it?
Bayley,
What's
the
she
one
look
that
like?
just came back from injury. She she's got the tag team with the one Japanese chick and oh who has the other one? It's a
The
ES
Japanese
guy.
chick with the green hair and the paint on her lips.
No, the other one, the one that just came, the small little Japanese girl.
Well, I can't. Bianca Belair should be undefeated for the next couple years, so Bianca Belair.
Okay, next again that's a ladder match. Next one, Matt Riddle versus Seth freaking Rollins, and yes, they have freaking in his name, so that's why we're calling it. It says inside the fight pit, so I'm guessing they're doing some kind of like UFC kind of ring setup for that match.
Matt Riddle's the barefoot guy, right?
Yeah, the former UFC fighter, which is also why I'm thinking that's what they're calling the fight pit. It's like a UFC style ring, maybe.
Man, I don't think either one of those guys are really that good. I don't think Matt Riddle. I think he's athletic enough, but his character sucks. I think Seth Rollins' character is great, but I think his talent's kind of sucky.
Oh no, Seth can
Uh,
go, dude.
I think that it'll probably be a real brawl of a match, but they're both going to get super tired. It's going to get super long and boring. Seth Rollins wins. And
Next
yes, I
match.
beat both of them, Rob. That is correct.
Next match. I don't know if you know who Karrion Cross even is, but Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Cross in a strap match.
I got to go with Drew McIntyre just because, he's the big
Karrion
crazy
Cross ain't a
Scotsman.
little guy either.
What's his face looks like crazy Scotsman on steroids, so I'm going with him.
Next, you got Edge versus Finn Balor in an I Quit match.
Finn Balor is that's like the little skinny white dude, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, little skinny Irish guy.
It's an I Quit match.
Yeah.
Edge. I can't see Edge getting choked out by this guy.
Right. And next, you got the Brawling Brutes, which is Sheamus's group, versus the Imperium, which is Gunter's group, in a six-man, good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. In other words, they just go out there and fight.
I don't know who is on any of the other teams. I'm not too sure who Donnybrook is either.
A Donnybrook is a fight.
Oh, who'd you say Sheamus was fighting then?
Uh, Gunter and his two lackeys.
Oh, Gunter's the big Nazi guy that's new,
Uh
right?
huh.
Okay, man. Oh, man, that sucks. Sheamus is gonna get slapped around for a while. That's gonna be an interesting fight.
Yeah. I
Oh,
think
I
I think
think
they're
they're
headed.
gonna. I think they're gonna have the Nazi dude win. And just for YouTube's purposes, I have no idea. I call him the Nazi dude because that's just a joke. I have no idea.
Yeah, there's the two teams right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. Unfortunately, I'm gonna go with the guy, the Gunther guy, because he's a savage.
Yeah, that match between him and Sheamus, holy hell, they chopped the living hell out of each other in that match.
Yeah, I think what's gonna happen is they'll beat up the other two guys real bad, and then it'll be a triple team, and Sheamus is gonna get stomped out royally.
Uh, that guy right here, to the left of
Yeah,
Sheamus in the picture, he is a big dude.
yeah.
Ridge Holland, he used to be a professional rugby player. He is not a little guy.
Is that the last match?
Yeah, that's the last one listed.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Out of all the matches that are listed on this, that's the one that's got me the most interested.
Do they have a picture of the Bianca Belair's wrestler fighter, the
Yeah,
person she's fighting?
they got all of them. So there's Edge and Finn Balor.
Yeah, I gotta go. Edge is looking really fit lately.
Mm-hmm.
Even though his face is sunk in a little bit, the new haircut, he's back in the gym. I think they're gonna have him. I can't see them having him change his image and then get I quit. I don't see it.
Well, remember they're promoting Finn too. Finn's the one that
Yeah,
he got behind with the Edge's stable, and they jumped Edge and beat him up and kicked him out of that stable. So
yeah.
there's a story there. There's Drew McIntyre and Karrion Cross. Riddle and Rollins, and Bianca and Bailey,
Oh yeah, Bianca stomps this chick out.
and of course Jason's girlfriend and Ronda Rousey.
She's hot, man. I think she's good looking. She's athletic. Uh, she's provocative enough to where you can put her in slightly skimpy outfits, but not too trashy. Now, obviously, half her butt's showing, so that's one thing. But she's still, down home girl looking enough to keep her down home looking enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I,
she's one of those girls too, where you put a pair of glasses on her and she becomes super cute too.
right, that's what
I
I
don't,
mean.
I don't know if you've seen her with her glasses on or not.
She's extremely marketable because she's extremely attractive.
Mm-hmm.
And if they put a little bit of muscle tone on her and toughen her up a little bit, or like I said, mature her character to where she becomes more of a professional type of wrestler, she could make a lot of money and gain a lot of fame. But if they keep her, all skinnied out and purple hair and stuff like that, then I can't see the character drawing in a really interested fan base for a long time.
Well, there you have it, folks. There's Kingpin's analysis of every one of the matches on Extreme Rules that's coming. No, not this weekend. Next weekend.
Plus, you'd also have to take, if she's going to be the reigning whatever champion and Bianca Belair is the reigning other champion, you've got to set it up to where the two champions fight each other. And if you want to keep it anywhat realistic, the goofball that is Morgan right now, you can't you can't put her in a match against Bianca Belair and expect her to ever win without cheating somehow. If it's like a ladder match or no disqualification, but if it's a regular 2 out of 3 falls, 1, 2, 3 count, you can't realistically have her go out there and be body slamming Bianca Belair and be all tough with Bianca Belair. Not in
Well,
her current condition.
that's not her. The way they have her wrestle anyway. She's more of an opportunistic kind of wrestler, uses her brain kind of thing.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. How long are you going to have the champion a opportunistic? You know, uh, what do they call it? Technicality, win by technicality every time.
Well, they call that being a technical wrestler. it's it's happened in the past, man.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I get
I
it.
mean, look at
You
some of
can,
the guys that Bret Hart defending the WWE title against when he had it.
yeah, but Bret Hart was a big, strapping, athletic man who was also extremely attractive, which made him super marketable. Liv Morgan is a little girl in a man's sport that nobody, only people only tolerate the female wrestlers. They only tolerate them.
Oh, you need to pay attention to the internet wrestling community more. Believe me, there are people that love the female wrestlers and get mad because they don't get enough time. They
If
say,
the if I snap my fingers right now and all female wrestling instantly stopped, there'd be a bip on the radar screen for half a second, and then nobody would care.
I disagree. I disagree. You got to read the comment section and whatnot on the different wrestling show videos and whatnot. There are people would throw a fit if women's wrestling went away right now. Guarantee it. WWE did a whole goddamn pay per view 2 years ago. There was nothing but women's matches. I didn't watch it because I had no interest in it, but they got a lot of views on that.
They gotta market that chick. They got a gold mine in both of them. Bianca Belair is gorgeous. Liv Morgan is gorgeous. They're both extremely athletic. Bianca Belair is a beast. If they marketed them correctly, that could be the next Sting and Hulk Hogan.
Mm. Oh, no doubt.
Get that stupid ponytail cut off of Bianca Belair
Oh God, yeah, that braid has got to go.
and let her
Unless
just
they turn her heel and have her using it as a weapon like they used to in NXT.
get rid of it and let her just military press people in the ring every match and stand there and smile and then throw a person out of the ring because she's a girl and can pick up another girl and throw her.
I think the funniest thing with her though, with the braid, when she was a heel, she went she hit somebody with it, and referee's like, "You can't do that, you can't do that." And she looks at her, "Why not? We're allowed to use our body parts as part of my body." And the ref
Technically,
just stood there looking at her like, "Huh?"
yeah. That's what Horace Gracie used to say about uh, wrestling in the gi is you've got to if you're a professional and you really care about jujitsu, you want somebody wearing clothes because I'm going to take your shirt and I'm going to choke you with it.
Hmm.
I'm going to grab your gi and pull you toward me, and then I'm going to figure out one way or the other to wrap your neck around up in that thing. So, you know, that would make sense.
The referee's reaction to that, though, when she said, "Why not? It's part of my body."
Uh, that's fine. I just don't. I don't. I get it. I'm also extremely critical of something that I don't take very much time to. Unless I'm hanging out with you, I don't put any time into objectively looking at it. So I could be completely wrong. A million people in the world might love her ponytail.
Oh, I'm sure they do. I don't. I think it's annoying. It doesn't fit her as a face. It fit her as when she was a heel, which I think she's better as a heel because she's got that cocky attitude, and it just comes out better as a heel.
Yeah, and I could see her transition that way, to where she comes out uh, and has to beat Liv Morgan, and Liv Morgan's become the people's champion and the champion of everybody's hearts, and then she's got to come out and stomp a mud hole in her, and the people are like, "Oh, that's kind of boo," and then she all of a sudden from then on. Every time she comes out, she just grabs the other girl by her face and slams her into the mat and
Yeah,
steps on her head.
yeah. Have her be one of those heels that turn faces that turns heel because the crowd turned against her, kind of thing.
Yeah. And it's believable. If she came out and grabbed Ronda Rousey by her face and threw her outside the ring, she could probably do that in real life.
Hmm.
Well, maybe not to Ronda Rousey, but
I got your point.
yeah, it's amazing how strong some of these women are in this uh
Hmm.
the AEW and then the WWE.
Yeah, women's wrestling is not what it was when we were kids.
And just the short time that we've been watching and she's been back, that Becky Lynch has got my respect. I can't that woman's ladder match was outrageous. I can't believe what we were watching.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the Money in the Bank one, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, that was insane.
And I think Becky Lynch has come back strong. I didn't know anything about her until she just came back since we've been watching, and I think that she's been pretty impressive so far. I think they're working on what kind of character. Because remember last time she came out, her hair was all like Joan Jett, and she was
Yeah,
all weird 80s looking.
yeah, she's going through an identity crisis. Is what they were trying to do with the story with her. If you remember at the beginning of that match, because that was her versus Bianca, she was heel, and then when Bailey and her people came out, she turned face and helped Bianca against them. That was what, SummerSlam.
Yeah, that was recent. Yeah.
Yeah. The September pay per view was the one in Cardiff, which I watched with Barbecue. Me and Barbecue watched that one. I think we did a stream on that one. Hell, I don't remember now, to be honest with you. I'd have to go look. I think I did. We did a stream watching that. Let me
So
go
what's
into.
this? I heard you and Gary both hinted toward. uh, actually putting videos on YouTube. Oh, is that? Yeah, you deleting the stream now? Did I?
Oh no, no, no! I'm trying to look for something, and for some reason my keyboard's not wanting to work right. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, we did Clash at the Castle. Okay, that was 4 weeks ago. I can't remember if we did it or not. That was
Yeah, I remember
that
they
was
had
yeah.
all the jumbotrons were projecting the castle.
Yeah, they had that big. No, it wasn't. They were projecting it. The castle was actually there.
Oh, okay. I really wasn't paying that
Yeah,
much attention to it. I thought it was
yeah.
just like a jumbo screen.
No, the jumbo screen was part of the castle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, did we do that one? I had to go and look. I couldn't remember. Did we actually? It's been a long month. The month of September just like was a long month for some reason.
Yeah, yeah, indeed.
There were a lot of shit that went down in September. Yeah, because we had Clash at the Castle. The AEW pay per view was this month. We did the football watch thing. There was a lot of shit that happened in September.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got an idea for a video. I don't know if I'm gonna get it done or not, but I got an idea for one that I've had for a little while now. But that'll be over on the Unlimited Media channel, of course, not this one. We'll see. Actually, I've had an idea for a couple of videos. I just haven't got around to doing anything. With her being out of work, it was hard because there was always some noise somewhere in the house, and just couldn't get to where it was quiet enough to film something. But she's gone back to work now, so I do have some quiet time every so often. I can't think of much else to talk about with wrestling this week.
yeah, no,
Oh, there's a new Ring of Honor champion, heavyweight champion.
what?
Guy,
Who's that?
guy that's been around for a long time.
Ric Flair.
Not that long. No.
Gold
This guy,
Dust.
no, hold on. I'll give you. This guy has both U.S. and Canadian citizenship.
Tom McDonald.
No. He's
David
got a.
Spade.
He has a metal band.
David Spade.
No. His last name is also the name of a city in the Bible.
What? Chris Jericho?
Yeah, Chris Jericho is the new Ring of Honor champion.
Hmm. How? I thought he. How did he already? Did he get knocked out of that tournament quick then?
He lost to Daniel Bryan in the second round in the
Okay, so then
semifinals.
he's had time to have another match since then.
Uh huh.
So you and Barbecue were kind of right that one way or the other, he was going to go out on top.
That's got people. Him having the ROH championship has people speculating whether Tony Khan is close to having a TV deal, and they're going to use Jericho to get eyes on that product like they did with AEW.
Yeah.
As Jericho was the first AEW champion, and Jericho has name recognition more than what Claudio Castagnoli does. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. So, it'd be interesting to see if that's the case, if that's why they put it on Jericho.
Yeah, well, at least he got a title.
Mm-hmm. The question is, what channel does Ring of Honor get put on?
MTV.
I don't think so. The MTV, they've tried doing wrestling before and it didn't do well over there. So I don't think that would work. That they should do that again. They could do Destination America, the one Discovery Channel channel that's out there. They used to have a
Right.
wrestling show on that before. I know the Learning Channel. They'll put it on the Learning Channel between the shows about fat kids.
There you go. Inspiration.
Yeah. Remember when the Learning Channel actually had educational programming on it?
Yeah, it's all screwed now, man.
Yeah, it's all that those shitty goddamn reality shows. Learn how not to look like a total douchebag on TV.
I think television is a dying entity. The TV itself, which would eventually just be called monitors, uh, like
That's basically what they are now. They're monitors with the computer built into them.
cable television, 700 channels kind of stuff. That's only got a few more years left
Mm,
until that's completely gone away with. And then, kind of like we were joking about earlier, where you only get one wrestling channel. That's because you only want one wrestling channel. So if you pay for A&E wrestling, and that's all you want to watch. That's all you pay for.
you know, we were looking at it the other day, me and my daughter. It's actually cheaper if you subscribe to just about any or all the streaming services you can think of than it is to have a cable bill sometimes.
Well, and also the problem that the cable company has is the same problem that the cell phone company has, because you've been a 35-year customer with John Smith's cable, and you're paying $800 a month for cable that you don't use. Where I just moved in and I'm paying $35 a month for the next 2.5 years. And you're sitting there going, wait a minute, I've made every single payment every single time on time and didn't complain about the power outages, didn't complain about the service. When I needed to return my box, I paid the shipping to return the box and waited for you to send me the new one and blah, 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 blah. And now you got a new customer that's getting 75% off my price. My
Well,
dad goes through that all the time. He was with DirecTV for 22 years, and he called him and was like, "Don't you understand that you give a brand new customer like 1,000% discount from what I'm paying?" And I was basically the first customer in this county with DirecTV. They're like, "Yeah, well, we can send you a coupon."
oh, it's the same thing with your auto insurance. You get your there's actually insurance experts out there to tell you to change your insurance company every 6 months to a year because the rate increases that you're going to face you won't face if you switch brands.
Yeah, I gotta do that soon myself. My mom Every time I go to my parents' house, my mom's like, "You're an insurance company commercial."
Yeah, I keep telling my wife she needs to see about checking into another insurance company, see if her rates goes down. She's like, no, I don't want to. I just want to stick with Geico. They've been good to us. Like, okay.
I just don't feel like going through it.
Mm-hmm. Well, every time she's gotten hit by a deer, Geico didn't even question it. They, okay, we'll send somebody out to look. Guy came out to look, put in for the payment to be sent out, and got the check, got the car fixed. So with that, she doesn't want to get the insurance company changed. She's like, how do I know that if we go to like State Farm or something, they're going to do the same thing? Ask people.
All right.
You know, you work with how many people? You can't ask them how their insurance company is?
Well, you could just ask the people at State Farm.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure Jake at State Farm will tell you. He wouldn't steer you wrong. Oh, on that note, I guess it's time to start wrapping this up. We've been going for about an hour and a half. So, you got anything coming up you want to plug or anything?
Oh, early bird. That's it. Watch Gary in the morning.
Yeah, he is doing his show this weekend. He's not taking the weekend off again. So,
And it's every second matters.
mm-hmm. Oh, I know what I want. Did you know Skechers makes tactical gear? The shoe company, Skechers?
Oh, that seems vaguely familiar, but I'd have to play the safest answer. I'd have to say no. I did not know that.
Well, check these out. And you see the tag there, Skechers Tactical.
Huh? All right.
Found these at a local store. Went to look for a new pair of shoes, something with more ankle support, and these are kind of like a boot and sneaker kind of one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they got the Skechers memory foam inserts and everything inside of them.
Nice.
Extremely comfortable. So, $80 for those, which
Yeah,
isn't
that's
bad.
not a bad deal.
No. So, and in wrestling these days, those would actually be legal for ring wear. That's basically what John Moxley wears, or something like that.
All right.
I think Roman Reigns does too, for that matter. So, anyway, we'll leave you with that the image of my new boots that I just got. So, have a good night, everybody.
You guys are probably really scared right now, and I understand that completely. But I get the better of the deal, and even though it's 3 versus 2, you guys are outnumbered because we're better than you guys. Yeah, we are. We're legends in our own mind compared to you guys. Even though you guys got the egos, we have got the wrestling skill. And this guy right here, we're the space